Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to do a video that explains how to set up a zero-based budget. For those of you that might be wondering, like when you see my videos, okay, it's a zero-based budget, but how do I get these numbers? So that's what we're going to be going over today. And so I don't really follow Dave Ramsey to the T anymore, but the zero-based budget is one of the things that he teaches that I kind of held on to still. So basically with the zero-based budget, you start off with your four walls. And basically your four walls are your needs, like what you cannot go without paying. It's your priorities. And so the four walls are food, utilities, transportation, and shelter. And that makes sense, right? Because, without a place to live, without food, without transportation to get to work, if you don't pay those things, then it could be detrimental to your overall well-being. Yeah, so that's basically what we're just going to walk through today, how to set up a zero-based budget. And so things that I will not be showing is I'm going to show our debt, but I'm not going to break down what specifically are my husband's. I'll break down mine because that's what we always do. And then the other thing, I'm not going to show anything pertaining to my kids that I don't necessarily want to share. Like for instance, like child support, like those type of things, or anything that has to do with anyone else outside of our family that, like, if they were to watch or someone were to watch, it would be revealing something from someone else's budget. That's it. So, and that's how it is with all of my videos in general. So yeah, let's just hop into how to create a zero-based budget. And if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button. And so I hope to bring more videos, kind of how-tos, like how to zero-based budget, how to set up your sinking fund. So if that interests you, subscribe down below. Okay, so when you're doing a zero-based budget, the very first thing that you want to do is find out what are your four walls. And so one way to do this is to go through your physical bills, if you still receive physical bills. And the other way to do it is just to look back at your bank statements for the last few months. And if you know the exact amounts, then that's good. If you don't know the exact amounts, like say for gas or food, then you would kind of just look at the last few months and average what they are. But another simpler way to do it is if you don't mind hooking up your banking to an app like EveryDollar or Mint, then it will automatically import all of your transactions, and then basically it will show you what categories you spent your money in. And so that's a quicker way to do it. Or you can, if you prefer to kind of go through your statements individually, then you can also do that. There's really no wrong way. And so for me, I'm going to start with my four walls. So we'll start with rent. So I'm just going to write four walls. And then number one for me is rent. And so included in my rent is also internet. So I don't pay anything extra for that. But internet is also important for me because I do work from home, and also I do side work, and I also do that from home. So internet is a critical expense. So it's $1,025. And so the next thing is our cell phone. And so just a reminder, your four walls are food, utilities, shelter, and transportation. So, or anything else that really you need to make a living or to get by. And so our cell phone is approximately $193. It fluctuates a little bit, but that's what it is for this month. And so my husband uses his cell phone for work. So that's one thing. And then I also just use my cell phone. I use it for work sometimes, but yeah, that's our communication. We don't have a house phone. We have our gas. So this is transportation, how we get to work. My husband drives for work. and I go into my office currently 2 times per week. But $800 is what we budget. And so this might seem high for other people, but for us, because my husband drives for work, that's why it's high. But you would just go back. And again, for this one, this is one where I would go to my Mint app or EveryDollar if that's what you want to use. And I would look to see how much I used over the last few months. So I actually did go and look at the last 3 months, and it was closer to $500, but that's because things had been a little bit slower when it came to driving and stuff like that. But I'm still keeping it at 800 just in case. But that's what you would do. You put what you're comfortable with kind of as a minimum. And then so for our food, we budget $600. But again, if you don't know what this amount might be because you've never gone back into your previous expenses, that's what you would do. You would look at your previous expenses and see approximately how much you spend on groceries, how much you spend on eating out. And eating out may or may not be part of your 4 walls. Maybe groceries might just be part of your 4 walls instead of eating out. It just kind of depends on the person. And so our pets. So this is part of our 4 walls because this is kind of life and death for our pets. Like, we have to feed our animals. So this we budget $400 a month. And we have multiple dogs. That's why it's kind of high. I know it might seem high, but we actually have multiple dogs. So that's why. Plus we have fish. And then next for us, so life insurance, which is very important, and also renter's insurance. So all of that combined for my whole family is $336.79. So next, again, under transportation is car insurance. Because if we don't pay our car insurance, then we would be driving illegally. So car insurance for both of our cars comes to $565.60. And this is the same every month, so I didn't really have to go back. There's some bills that you might not have to go back and look at. They're just standard bills. And then car payment. So even though this is debt, because I'm putting it under transportation, because if I do not pay this, then our car would be taken away. So I'm still including it as part of our 4 walls. You know, for other people, bills that could be included would be electricity, maybe hydro, I think those are the same, gas, anything that other utilities that you might pay. So I fortunately don't have to pay any of those things included in my rent or anything like that. So those are other things that you potentially could include. So you just go and you look at anything that you basically need to live that lands under food, utilities, shelter, or transportation. And so then next, because, we are on a debt-free journey, so we still have debt, I'm going to list down our debts. So in Dave Ramsey's method, he does the debt snowball. And so if that is the type of method you are doing, then you would list your debts accordingly. But so I'm just going to list out our debts. So first I have my American Express. And so I'm just taking these numbers as they are. But as you'll see in like my debt update, these numbers will be slightly different only because interest may not have come on these yet, or I may not have made payments yet for the month, but I'm just putting the balances as they are right now. So my American Express, the balance is $695.62. And this is due on the 4th of every month. And the minimum payment right now is $16.12. And so then my next credit card, say credit card 1, is $1,000 $95.26. And so this is due on the 11th of every month. And the minimum payment right now is $15. And so my next credit card, so I only have 3 credit cards, but this is the big one. The balance is $17,932.34. And so one good thing about doing this when you're establishing your zero-based budget is also getting to know where you're at. So if you have never looked at your debts before, this is a good time to kind of set that out to see, where you're really at. So $329.59. And so these are my actual minimum payments. I know when I normally do my budget, I just kind of, I normally round up and I pay more, but I'm just putting what the basics are because I'm building up my zero-based budget. And so next I have a line of credit, and the balance on this is $9,509.68. And this is due on the 25th of every month, and the minimum payment is $214.41. And then next I have a loan, and the balance on this is $2,454.61. And this is also due on the 25th. And so in another video, I can kind of break down the snowball method, but right now I'm just listing out the debts. So the payment for this, so this is a fixed payment, it's always the same, is $327.51. And so for, I'll just put other. So this is my husband's. I'm not going to list it out exactly specifically, but the total of the minimum payments is $711.86. So if I tally this up, so these are the minimum payments that I have to make every month on my debts without going, being delinquent. So the total of this is $1,614.49. So basically these are my 4 walls. I have to pay these, and then these are the debts that I am responsible for every month. So this is kind of what comprises my basic budget. And so after that, you can kind of go into miscellaneous, just look at other things that might come up in the month, just to list them out. Anything that you know might be coming up, like maybe birthdays or anything like that. So we always have personal spending that we have every month. And so for me and my husband combined, it equals $300. And then also, sometimes we will buy vitamins or medication. So I normally put about $100 a month for that. And then also giving. So we normally will give 10%. So I won't put a dollar amount there just yet. And then we also kind of have a buffer, which is just like a miscellaneous amount. So in here, it could be anything, like it could be eating out. It could be anything that we just have to kind of pick up from like the pharmacy or from wherever. So in a zero-based budget, you're allowed to include anything you want, really. As long as you know that you've taken care of your main obligations, then you can start to add in things that might come up over the course of the month. So for miscellaneous, I normally do $200. And so this just kind of covers any little things that we have here and there. Other things that could come up in the future, and this is what we would put as kind of like, I guess, sinking funds or short-term savings. So in the summer, we would like to do a trip. And so I would hope to have saved $400 for that. Another thing is just kids' summer activities. I'm putting $100 for that. And so anything that you can think of that you might want to have as extra in your budget that might be coming up or could potentially come up. So car maintenance, I'm gonna put $100. And so again, another video I will do specifically on sinking funds, but I'm just listing them out now. And then back to school is another thing that will definitely happen. So I'll put $100 for that. So ideally I would want to have $800 for this, and then this will just accumulate to whatever it is. And yeah, so those are basically the expenses. So I know that these are the things that I need to include in my budget. So now what we're going to do is, now that I have this here, I'm actually going to create a monthly budget. To do that, I'm going to use the Budget Moms bill tracker, and I'm using this because I like how it's broken. I like how it's broken down. So you can put whatever month this is. I'm going to put April, but this is not necessarily my April budget. I'm just showing you how to do the zero-based budget, but April is the next month coming up. So first you would start with your income. So you have to know how much money is coming in and how frequently you get paid. So these are things that are important to know. So for us, for our 9 to 5, I know between me and my husband, even though like my income is fixed, his is variable. So I'm going to guesstimate what he would bring in a normal month. And so when I combine that, that equals $7,170. And so we also know during the month that I get the Canada Child Benefit. And so that is $550 for the month. This is actually $550 after I take away some of the other expenses for my kids that I don't talk about, but this is what's left to budget out basically. And then I always know that at a minimum, every month I should receive at least $1,000 in side income. This will fluctuate, but I'm just doing this because I know that this is for sure what I would receive. I'm not going to put in any of the extras because it varies month to month. And so the total of this is $8,720. So basically all of the expenses and everything else I fill out will equal $8,720, because once I take my income and I minus all these expenses, it's supposed to equal 0. So again, we start with our 4 walls. So I'm going to put our rent. And so that is $1,025. And then next is our cell phone. And that is $193. And then gas. So we're budgeting $800. And then food, we have $600. And then pet, $400. And then life insurance and rental insurance, $336.79. And then car insurance, In total for 2 cars is $565.60. And then our car payment, which we make every other Friday, bi-weekly, is $540.36. So in a month that might have 5 Fridays, then we would have to budget more than this. So every month you will have to look to see what is coming up for the month and what makes sense. And so I'm not going to list out my debt like I normally do because we already did that. But we know that the total minimum payments is more than our rent. That's why we got to get this paid off. It's $1,614.49. So now you add up all of these, and then the bill total, so of all of these, for me equals $6,075. So now it's like, okay, how much do I have left to budget with? So if we take our income of $8,720 and we minus our bills, our 4 walls, then we are left over with $2,645. And so this is why I like this spreadsheet or this bill tracker from the Budget Mom, because it breaks it down into the different sections. So I know after my 4 walls, this is what I have left over. So $2,645. Move this up a bit. And then so now we can go into kind of like our miscellaneous amounts, the stuff that we don't have to pay, but that we're just adding to our budget. So the first thing I'm going to put is giving. So this is a priority of ours, and so $872, because we normally give 10% of our income. And then next is personal spending. So between me and my husband, we normally have $300. And then I'm going to put our miscellaneous, or our buffer. And this is used for whatever random stuff we just end up spending, because we know we're going to do it. So we added it into the budget. And then vitamins. And I'll put medicine. So that is $100. So when we add up all of this from this section, we get $1,472. So now we take what was left over from before and we deduct what is left, or these miscellaneous kind of expenses. And so when we do that, now we're still left with $1,173. And so basically now these last 3 sections, sinking funds, extra debt, extra savings, it just depends on what your priorities are. So I still want to fill in my sinking funds because I know that these are kind of like short-term savings stuff that I know are going to come up. Like we want to do a trip in the summer, but I know that I have to start kind of saving from early to have some money set aside so it doesn't impact my budget as much. And same with all of the other sinking funds. So I'm just going to list them here. As I said, in another video, I can break down how you get to the amounts for your sinking funds, but I'm just going to write them down. So the kids' summer, we're going to do $100. And then for car maintenance, so this could be for an oil change or anything else that kind of comes up, maintenance, $100. And so for Christmas, so you want to start saving for Christmas early so you don't have a big debt bill at the end of the year. So $50 a month. And then we have back to school, because the kids will definitely need And so for the month, I'm just going to budget $100. And then our summer trip. So even though I want $400, I'm just breaking it down to this month and doing $150. So now when we add up all these, it comes up to $500. And then so $1,173 minus 500 means we have $672.76 left over. So the last two categories are extra debt and extra savings. So right now, because we're on a debt-free journey, we would probably put a majority of this towards debt. But it's up to you. If you are trying to build up your emergency fund, and see, this is where we kind of differ from Dave Ramsey. So in Dave Ramsey, you do your mini emergency fund, and then you pay off your debt, and then your bigger emergency fund. But it's okay for you to do them simultaneously. So the priority is on debt. So I'll probably put the majority of that here. So just to make it kind of even, I'll do, okay, so we do $672.76. And so this could be on a credit card. We'll say, yeah, credit card 1. And we can make this $472.76. So $472.76 would leave us with $200 left over. And so if you're trying to build up your emergency savings, then emergency fund, we would put $200. Now, if you have a fully funded emergency fund, then that's great. So here, instead of that, you might be putting investments. You know, you could, if you have kids, you could be putting into their registered education savings plan. Like, so it's really up to you what you want to do or what your priorities are at the end of the day. But the zero-based budget just, it basically means that every dollar has a place. Because if back here, I was like, oh man, I have $1,100 left over, right? But I didn't have any goals or priorities or anything to do with it. This easily could just get spent in that month. And then it might be hard for me to find money for back to school clothes, you know, for Christmas. So you always kind of have to be thinking that the zero-based budget allows you to kind of think into the future and give your money a name, basically. So you're not just spending it frivolously. And it can also help you accomplish your goals better, because then, you know, when you do have money left over, you're prioritizing things. So you're saying, okay, yes, I do want to put this towards debt. Yes, I do want to put this towards savings. So that basically, if we put our total savings down here, and then what's left over is $0. And so another thing that I said in my previous video, a zero-based budget doesn't mean you have $0 in your bank account. It's just when you're setting up your budget, giving every dollar a name. So this could mean that I have $1,000 just sitting in my account as a buffer, just in case something comes up when it's unexpected. It doesn't mean that. It just means that, yeah, when you're budgeting out your money, you're just doing a zero-based budget so that at the end of the day, you know exactly where your money is going. So I hope that makes sense. I hope you enjoyed or you learned something from how to do a zero-based budget. Please like, subscribe, give this video a thumbs up. You can share it with someone that might be struggling with budgeting or wondering what a zero-based budget is. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.